Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of You're on Mute, a technology podcast here at Future Tech. Today, I'm joined by our VP of Sales, Chris Cappiello, and we're going to talk about private LTE for utilities and specifically what cell modems, are available. So, Chris, thanks for taking the time to join us today. Do you think you could start out by talking about the spectrum options for the utilities that are available on the private side?
Sure, John, and thanks for having me. I'm actually a big believer in private LTE for utilities. They have a lot of different use cases, and many times they have multiple different types of networks that they're running over their use cases. So, going to private LTE, they could actually almost consolidate that down to one solution, right? To connect all those different use cases, but ultimately you're going to run into issues with spectrum, right? And you basically, unless you own spectrum or you have a relationship with a carrier, it boils down to being able to use CBRS, which was released back in 2020, or using Anterix's US 900.
Okay, and what are some key reasons that a utility might look at one spectrum over another, right? Like, what are those some of those differentiators, if you will?
Sure. Well, it mostly comes down to channel size and then also frequency, right? So CBRS, as you know, is in the 365 band, so that's more what we call like a mid-band spectrum. So you won't go as far as like the US 900. You'll penetrate some trees, but it's not a nine line of sight technology, right? Also with CBRS, you can get multiple 10 megahertz channels, so you can support higher throughput use cases like video surveillance, substation automation, et cetera. With the US Anterix band, that's in the that's in the 900 megahertz band, so it's more of a lower band. So you can go further, but I believe they only offer like a 3x3 channel. So you're not going to support the same capacity that you can get out of a CBRS network, but you're going to be able to go further. So that kind of plays more with their field area networks, their downline devices like their cap banks and their reclosers, and then also their AMI network. So those are the two biggest things when it comes to deciding on what spectrum to use.
Okay, that's good to know, Chris. And what, like, are there any other considerations that the utility should take when they're considering which spectrum they should use?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot that goes into designing and building a private LTE network, right? But with these two different spectrums, particularly, I'd say the two biggest concerns that we see today, one with CBRS, it's a shared spectrum. So it's managed by the SAS, dictated down by the FCC. So there's certain incumbents that have priority in that band. And if those incumbents, decide to turn on or transmit in that area, the SAS could turn down or turn off your network, right? So that doesn't really play with utilities. They don't really want somebody having access to their network to be able to turn them off, right? Because it's critical network. So that's a concern. And then with the US 900 band, it's still kind of in its infancy. They're still trying to get some of the incumbents off of that band. So even trying to do proof of concepts, you have to coordinate with the incumbents, and it's just it's not as easy as just saying, hey, I want to transmit here and let me buy the spectrum and go, right? So those are the two kind of gating factors with the spectrums.
No, that's awesome stuff. When I was at Verizon, I spent 18 years there. And often I would see new frequencies would be turned on, while the user equipment really hadn't caught up into the market yet, right? So, what are you seeing out there, right? Like, what's actually available that somebody could take advantage of?
Sure, good question. So we had a couple start and stops with CBRS, right? It took a while for the FCC to actually ratify that and put that in motion. So the manufacturers had some time to kind of plan for that band and get the modules and everything kind of in place. So, most of the cell modems that we work with today, they all support CBRS, right? That's not typically an issue. US 900, again, with that being more in its infancy, there's not as many devices that I'm aware of, right? Kind of the only ones that we work with are Nokia SAR HMC, and then just recently Sierra certified their RB50X with the FCC on the US Anterix, US 900 Anterix band. So, on the edge devices in the 900 megahertz Anterix band, those are the only two that that we work with, right? That I'm aware of.
All right, and that makes sense. I appreciate you taking some time today. I know you're a busy guy, so thanks for taking a little bit of time. I'm sure that the folks had a chance to learn some new stuff. And obviously we're looking forward to having another one of these episodes with you. So thanks again for jumping on, Chris.
Cool, John. Appreciate you having me, man.
All right. And folks, till the next time, stay classy, America. We'll talk to you soon.
See you, John. Take care, man.
All right. So